are now tuned into the sounds of What Black Men Like.
The number one apex in the world. I know there's something absolutely unique about these guys.
Excellent podcast.
Women standing up for themselves. Okay.
We are back. Best podcast in the game. You are now tuned into the sounds of What Black Men Like.
Basically, what I'm telling you about, it's an attack on us. This is the reason why. Because of our intelligence, because of our ability to wipe, genetically to wipe people out off the planet. You know, they had slaves here called indigent servants before us. But them slaves couldn't stay in that hot sun all day like our folk parents and our ancient grandmamas and ancient grandpops. You know what I'm saying? We are a superior people. That's why we so attacked. Every time you look at the news, it's like you said, my brother, it's a negative image of us on the news. It's a reason for that. Because look what they gave us, the shit that they call the scum and earth hip hop, and look what we did with hip hop. You can't play music without listening to hip hop. We dominate everything that we do.
Right. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, right? What I'm saying to you is these things that people are saying about us, we need to stop repeating that shit. When we start repeating the shit that the negative things that people are saying about us, then we're just doing their work for them. Instead of talking about, hey, you know, all the things that people have done to us, yeah, it was some fucked up shit. Now we need to start talking about the kings, the pharaohs that are in our bloodline. Those are the things that we need to start talking about. Not these images that they want us to see, these images of fucking slaves and shit like that. Man, I'm so fucking fed up with these fucking slave images, these slave movies and shit like that, all right? I need for my fucking children to understand, hey, no, look, you descended from fucking Mansa Musa, the richest man that had ever existed in the world. You're a descendant from David, the greatest king in history, okay? You're a descendant from Jesus. That's where you're descended from. Think about it like this, all right? You were talking about earlier about how people were sexually assaulted. This is my thing. A woman gets sexually assaulted, right? Let's say a woman or a boy, female, they get sexually assaulted. Let's say they get into a relationship after that. How likely are they going to stay in a relationship with somebody that constantly reminds them of them being raped or attacked? That person says to them, hey, remember when that man raped you? Remember when that man took advantage of you? How likely is that person to stay in that relationship? How likely is that man to stay in a relationship with a woman if she keeps bringing up the fact, hey, you know what? Don't forget I was raped. You can't talk to me like that because I was sexually assaulted and stuff like that. That shit gets exhausting. Exhausting.
I mean, God definitely put the right person in that woman's life for that. It's going to be the person that's properly patient enough to be able to deal with that type of healing and trauma.
You're missing the point that I'm making.
She made a good point, though, because that person will come into your life and
I agree with that. I agree with what you're saying, Brittney Burna, but the point that I'm making is that if we continue saying the same shit over and over again, we ain't never gonna fucking progress. The things that we are saying are the things.
We're far from doing that.
Say what?
I said we're not doing that. We're far from doing that.
Well,
we're
I
far
think
from doing the same thing over and over and over again.
No, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. I don't get why everybody's missing the point that I'm making.
You're not making no damn sense. I actually get what you're saying.
Man, fuck
though.
you. I am. Listen, fuck you and fuck whoever don't understand what I'm saying. Listen, the point that I'm fucking making, listen, you get your fucking ass whooped and then you get up, you get better, all right? If you're a boxer, you don't take that fucking victory and you say, okay, cool, now I'm good. I don't need to fucking practice no more because you're going to get your ass whooped again. If you lose, then you get back in the fucking gym, you get better. But what you don't do, you don't harp on that loss. That's the same thing I'm saying in the black community. We harping too much on the shit that they put into our community. And when we keep harping on that, we keep regurgitating that shit to our children, then guess what they gonna grow up with? They gonna grow up feeling like they're fucking inferior because their mama said
it's not a harp. It's not a harp.
I want to speak to the brother. I want to let you know, brother, I absolutely 100% agree with you. When my sons were young and they used to act crazy, how I discipline them, I would get words from the dictionary and I would get the meaning of the dictionary. I'd make them write it 1,000 times. I didn't whoop them. I would educate them. That was the discipline. You know, my sons at a very young age, I gave them the book Think and Grow Rich and all these positive affirmations I taught them. And I taught them nothing but positivity. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
But I also taught them the other side because, you know, one of the people, I'm not saying this, I'm not trying to get Kanye, but I want to say this. Our Jewish brothers, when you think about them and you think about how they've been so successful, one of the reasons why they're so successful because they always say never again. Never again what? Never again will we go through the Holocaust. So they teach their kids about the Holocaust. They teach the people about the Holocaust. They constantly promote their narrative and promote what happened to them. And it's ironic. It's ironic that they the most successful people. But sometimes, man, to know what is, you got to know what was. Sometimes we got to tell our children so history won't repeat itself. So a lot of times when we talk about certain things and we point out certain issues when it comes to trauma and some of the discrimination and things that we came through in this country, you know what I'm saying? We tell them that. But then, like, I also would give my son a Kindle book, you know what I'm saying? Kindle book, you know, They Can Go Rich from a Black Man's Perspective, you know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I kind of mixed it up, you know what I'm saying? I would give them the positivity, and then when they act bad, I would give them about 10 big words. I'll make them write it 1,000 times. And I'm going to give you a funny story. So I live in the suburbs back when I lived in Milwaukee, and my son was going to school there. He was going to Hamilton High School, and my son would always finish his work before the white kids because it was predominantly white kids. And so we did a parent conference, and the teacher asked me, she said, your son is not attentive. He's not paying attention, you know, whatever. And then, you know, I got on my son, said, what's wrong, boy? Why you ain't doing what you're supposed to do? He said, Dad, this stuff is too easy. I'm finishing before all of them. And the teacher looked at my son. He said, what is my grade? He said, I get nothing but A+. He said, my dad taught me this stuff many, many years ago. So, you know what I'm saying? It's different ways that, you know, we can educate our children. There's different things. Like my son, I went to, like I said, my son, he's an actor. So when I went to his condo in Beverly Hills, all his wall, he got, you know, I'm going to be successful. This the kind of car I want. He ain't got nothing but affirmations all on his wall. So I agree with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to sit up here in front like you wrong. You right. That's what I teach my children. I'm not going to get on here and teach somebody else's children different. I always tell my kids to keep a positive attitude. I always tell my kids they're number one. I always tell my kids to never quit, a winner never quit, a quitter never win. So you absolutely right about that. But what I've done, I looked at the 4 sectors of power. Washington, D.C., where y'all at. That's government, right? It's a few of us there. Then I look at Wall Street. You know what I mean? I look at Johnny Diamond and Black Gold. All them companies are owned by my Jewish brothers, our Jewish brothers. Then I look at the tech company. Then I look at Hollywood. So media, tech, financial, and government. So what I formed Hip Hop Fraternity Radio. I formed my own magazine. I formed my own social media called hhfmedia.com. You can go there. That's a social media site. And then for finance, I own my own record label. You know what I'm saying? We own our own record label, HHF Records. I own HHF Management Company. I own my own clothing line, HHF Clothing. You can go to my website and see all this. I do my own film company. I got Boosie movie coming out. I got Ice-T movie coming out. I got Rick Ross movie coming out. I got another company called HHF Literary. I just signed Boosie to a book. It's called Cross the Track. I looked at what these people doing, and I'm kind of concurring with the brother. I'm tired of talking. I'm actually the one that's doing it. I own my own entire fraternity. You got the Masons, you got the Elks, you got all these. I got 10,000 members around the world. I got 36 states. So what I'm trying to say to you brothers is, yeah, the brother's absolutely right. Let's not talk about what they're doing to us. Let's figure out what they're doing. That's why I got into media. That's why I got into the tech world. That's why I got into the financial world. That's why I just sent the young boy to the White House. I got my own political action committee called HHF Political Action Committee. We have to stop talking and start doing. And I'm a nigga from the streets. Let's get real. I'm a hood nigga. You know what I'm saying? I've been shot many times, been in prison, and I figured it out. Y'all got all the degrees, more degrees than the thermometer. Y'all can figure it out. Google my net worth. You know, I got it going on. You understand what I'm saying?
Because talk that shit, man. Talk that shit. I love when people talk that shit.
But I don't want to brag because I want my members.
No, it's not bragging. It's what you've done. It's what you've accomplished. You've given the background of where you came from, and now you're talking about.
I'm trying to show black folks how to be free black people.
Yeah.
And I'm a Moorish American. I don't call myself black. I'm a Moor. But just for sake of political correctness, our African American brothers and sisters, this is how you be free. Go look at my magazine. Go look at any of the white magazines. I'm at par with them. Go to my social media. Look at any other social media. I'm at par with them. You know what I'm saying? Go look at my film company. Look at all the films I got coming out. I got more films coming out, new films than Netflix. And it's all on the website. All they got to do is go to hhfmedia.com. I'm not funny. I walk there, walk, and I talk there. I got 2 tongues, one in my mouth and one in my shoe. I walk there, walk out, talk that talk. All this I want to hear myself talk. We got to get past all that. You don't want to hear ourselves talk. That's the problem. Black folks, they talk well, but we don't move right. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I listen to Clyde Anderson. I listen to Umar Johnson. They ain't got to tell me twice. All they got to say, black folks ain't doing nothing. I'm going to do something. Ain't nobody beat me out of no money. I teach my members about the blockchain, about cryptology, ASCAP, BMI. I own my publishing. You know what I mean? Like I was a real nigga in the street. I'm a real nigga in executive suites. I deal with white folks all the time. Boosie is signed to Simon & Schuster. I got him the book deal. That's owned by CBS, $1 billion company. My black ass, criminal, ex-convict, all that shit we just got to talk about. Fuck prison. Fuck all that bullshit. Fuck probation. I'm going there. I'm talking to these folks. They giving me millions of dollars.
Yes.
That's all.
Pimpin Ken, I want to go back to one of the movies or one of the main platforms that brought you to the public eye was the Pimps Up, Hoes Down. So can you talk about how you got involved in that film and then fast forward to the day while you're now denouncing it?
Well, at the time I was in the game and Bishop Don Juan, you know, he invited me to all that stuff. And, you know, the people, man, I'm just a smart dude. If somebody got some $1 million cameras, man, you should have seen the kind of production team they had there. It was just, they had lighting and all that shit. I said, man, these folks got money. You know what I'm saying? I just knew it. I didn't know nothing about no film, you know, none of that stuff. Like I said, I did take a few college courses while I was in prison, and I got a few little prison degrees, you know, so I wasn't dumb, intellectually speaking, you know, so, but I know these folks is up to something. So I end up inviting them to come to Milwaukee, where I live. And so all the parties you see in the Vegas party, those are my parties. So I said, y'all pay for the party, and I'm gonna keep all the money from the dough and all the money from the VIP. They agreed. I said, y'all buy me this and buy me that, and I charged them for everybody. I got them for, man, a whole bunch of money. So that's how I got caught into it. But I didn't believe that it was gonna come out, my brother. I thought it was game. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was the feds. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just getting their money. And then when it came on TV, that's when I knew I had to change my life. You know what I'm saying? My daddy pulled me to the side and said, you the damn fool for doing this. And I said, Dad, I'm finna change. And that's when I started opening up all the business. I already had a lot of real estate. You know, I started, you know, opening up daycares. And so when people say Pimpin Ken, they say Pimpin Ken the Pimp, but you gotta say / daycare owner, comma, book author. I wrote 2 books, you know, / the founder of hip hop fraternity, comma, you know, literary agent, comma. You know, you're gonna be putting so many commas on my name since that time. Like I said, if you love Malcolm X, you should love me, because I done way more for myself legitimately than Malcolm did. Malcolm did the greatest thing ever as a folklore and as a historian and as a leader of the Nation of Islam, and eventually become a leader of Muslim. But business-wise and corporate-wise, you'll be surprised all the companies. I own a holding company called HHF Media Group. I have multiple subsidiaries up under there. You know, I'm making money in my sleep. You know, I have books. I have audio books. If you look at my audio book, it started with Simon & Schuster, but I negotiated without a lawyer. I got my rights to my audio book. I own. You go to audiobook.com, type in Pimpin Ken, you're going to see owner Ken Ivey, not Simon & Schuster. This is what I'm teaching brothers. I'm teaching brothers real business. I'm teaching them how to be a real man. See, I was a real man. Didn't nobody fuck with me in the streets. Niggas didn't play with me. You understand me? So that same energy that I took to selling dope and pimping and robbing and all that shit you do in the street, I took that same shit to the business. You understand me? So, you know, when you see me on Breakfast Club and all these platforms, these people get me on here because they know that I'm really putting in the work.
Was that why you were able to transition into the hip hop and music industry so easily? Because you already had respect on the streets, so these guys already knew who you were?
Oh, yeah. 50, all them niggas, man, they called me, man. Them dudes paid me a whole lot of money to be on their albums and stuff, man. I was one of the realest dudes in the streets. Everything that you heard about me is true. I just didn't do no killing. I didn't do none of that negative stuff. I was known for being what they called in the street a boss player. You know what I'm saying? Wore the best minks, wore the best diamonds, Rolls Royces, Maserati, 6 or 7 cars, mansions. I was that dude. I went to one out there robbing on the corner and selling drugs. No, that wasn't me. I had some of the prettiest women in the world. And then at some point I stopped messing with black women and had all beautiful white women and Asian and all that. And that's how I made a lot of money in that game. You understand? Because I wanted, you know, mess with my sisters like that no more. I felt, you know, it was like, I don't know, I don't want to talk like this because I don't want to offend some of the women that were with me in the past.
Hey, look,
but
Becky had to, you know what I mean? It was Becky's turn. Becky had to get it. She had to get out.
Yeah, Whitney White, we call her Whitney White.
Whitney White?
yeah, the big Whitney White. So and that was crazy because some of them white girls, man, they come from good homes. And you know what they would tell me? The same shit. I was molested by my uncle. This shit got a lot to do with hey man, I want to hear what the sister got to say too, man.
Brittney Burna, you got a question or a comment on what you heard so far?
Essentially, the reason I was coming for Willie's comment is because I think I've expressed this before, that systematic racism and those traumas are so deeply rooted that you can't just skip over the fact that there's a lot of other work that needs to be done. On top of the fact that mental health as a whole is something that we're just now addressing, everybody, unified, all colors. So these are things that we're going to have to go back and dig down into and fix. You got to do a deeper dive. You have to heal those traumas. On top of the fact that we're talking about the family dynamic and things that were separated, and we're talking about how come men aren't in the household and how come women aren't having men in the household. And again, these things were ingrained into us. They put things in place to force those things to happen to us, and those things are still occurring to this day. So until we change government, until we make those major changes, until we actually address those mental traumas, I don't think that's going anywhere. And that's why I asked the question that I asked you earlier about women, but honestly, we got to do it together. It's going to be a shift as a whole. And I understand what you're saying with the harping, and I do get the crabs in the barrel. But looking at Black people and the trajectory of us, we haven't done the same shit over and over again. We've built and then we've been fucking torn down. And then we rebuilt. And then we got torn down again. And then we fucking rebuilt stronger.
Woo!
And we do that shit every fucking time. And it's been happening for a long while. And now
Hallelujah this evening.
Hey, Miss Burnt, let me say this to you, how on point you is. So we look at the demasculation of the Black man. Look at Bill Cosby. Look at R. Kelly. Look at Young Puffy, right? They may be or may not be complicit, allegedly, right? But the thing that the people are benefiting from, I have never seen them go as hard as they go when one of ours get caught up.
Right.
So Puffy, they're dragging him through the mud. They drag R. Kelly through the mud. They drag Bill Cosby through the mud because it's a direct attack on Black supremacy, right?
Modern day lynching.
Then, like, for example, if you take away all of the noise that you hear and you look at the bigger picture and you look at the imagery that these brothers proposed initially to our community, moguls, Bill Cosby about to buy a whole network. You look at what they offer, and what they've done, and you look at some of the patterns and some of the behavior of some of the people who have done something to say. Because we know anybody that's in the entertainment business know that it's going to always be some old man telling some young lady, hey, if you do this, this, that, and the other, I'll make you a star. It's going to always be some gay man telling this other gay man, if you do this, that, and the other, I'll make you a star. What they doing is not foreign. It's not new.
Quid pro quo been around since the dawn of time.
Yeah, but when we do it, you see how I get dragged through the mud because the thing is to destroy the image of the Black man. If y'all read the Bible, and I'm not talking about the Bible from a religious standpoint, but when King Herod, when he said kill everybody,
he said kill everything that pisses against the wall.
Yeah. So anything under 2, because see, it's a conspiracy to destroy young Black boys. I mean, look at Dr. Umar Johnson talk about, I don't know if it was him, but somebody talked about the gateway to prison or something. I'm not using the word right, but the pipeline to prison. You look at your schools, they look like prisons.
School to prison pipeline.
Yes.
Pipeline. So me being in the system and seeing all those brothers in the system, that's why I made that comment about Magic earlier. I was in the system. I know how they do us. I know how you can buy only $80 worth of commissary, but you could use the phone up to $40,000-$50,000 a month. When I was in jail, they used the phone and that money goes directly to their pocket. So it's like, listen, man, I'm telling y'all, we as a people, as Dr. Clyde Anderson said, we don't get our shit together, in another 10 years, we'll be a permanent underclass. You know what I'm saying? Brother Robert Smith said it well. It's a 4th industrial revolution. Yes. What y'all doing right now is what's popping. This internet is the only thing going to save us. I make a whole lot of money off of YouTube. Trust me. So this is what we got to do. We got to get with the technology. We got to get with the time. We got to be innovative. We got to create some things. We got to create businesses around what we love to do. You got to have a labor of love. So, that's the thing. Like, I love what y'all doing. Anybody that's doing something positive, you know what I'm saying? But if Black called me I need 10,000. Period. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
I
Because I
love
know
that.
he's a culture
I
vulture.
love that.
He's robbing the culture. You know what I'm saying? What I'm
Yes.
saying? So,
Yes.
but if it's a brother, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna try to help them. That's why I went at the brother earlier. I was really trying to get the views up. You know what I'm
That's gonna be
saying?
so amazing.
I play the game. I know the game, so I was
Yeah.
really trying to get the views up. But brother, no disrespect to you. I love you, bro.
Pimpin Ken, you mentioned Puffy. You being in the entertainment industry, were you hearing things about this individual?
I just said it on Manhoffer. I said, well, Puffy called me in 2003. I did a song with this artist called Loon. He said, Ken, what is your publishing company? I didn't even know what a fucking publishing company was. I said, huh? And I said, oh, yeah, it's Ken Ivy Publishing. So Puffy gave me some game. That's my experience. Puffy had a party. He flew me to Atlanta, me and my man Paper Chase. They got us a room by the Lenox Mall. And it was his assistant. It was a white lady. She set it up. We went to the party. Puffy was there. He was in the VIP by himself. He let me and Paper Chase go to VIP. Jermaine Dupri was on the other side. They was having like a little battle. He never looked at me funny. He never act crazy. I did a movie called The Ghetto Streets X Street. I asked Puff, I said, say, Puff, I said, man, can you get this movie for me? I ain't got no money. He said, yeah, he got in my movie for free. Those are my experiences with Puffy, right?
Wow.
So I can't say nothing negative about him. And everybody jumping on this bandwagon. That go back to what I said, the destruction of the black civilization. And then you can look at some of the interviews, man. If you look at the interviews with when the white people talk about Puffy, man, it's cold-hearted, man. They do a real hit job on him, right? You know what I'm saying? Then you look at some of the black people, you can tell they just trying to get some views. It's clickbait. But the white folks, they really creating a narrative about this brother. And we going with the narrative, and we don't even know the full story. Last I checked, in America,
right.
You know what I'm saying? You're innocent till found guilty. We don't know if none of this stuff is true. We run it with stuff about TD Jakes, all these black powerful people. And what that does, we already ain't got no images, right? When you go to school, see it's all powerful white people. You sit by Superman, Batman. Even Santa Claus is white. Aquaman, Superman, Batman. All that white. You know what I'm saying? So Puffy might not be Batman, but he that man. You know what I'm saying? In our community, he's that man that made a successful for himself. He made millions of dollars. He gave us a blueprint on how to get it. So we got to start looking at these type of things in real life in real time, because this is what's happening, man. This is what's destroying us. A lot of our ignorance. We know of all things but our own ignorance. And you gotta have common sense, and sense is really not that common. So, I feel sorry for my people, you know what I'm saying, when I think about the overall outcome of what we're going to be, especially with our women being so detached from the black man. That's going to really destroy us. You know what I'm saying? Because last I checked, if we put all the sisters on the island, they can't procreate, they can't reproduce themselves. You're going to need a man. You know what I'm saying? And, what y'all got to stop doing, and when y'all talking to y'all baby daddy, quit calling bitch ass niggas while the kids are standing there. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? Last I checked, child support is not adult support. Don't call the man on your baby daddy because, you know what I'm saying, he had a bad day or a bad week. We got to get to that understanding. If that man ain't able to sell no drugs, or that man ain't able to get a job, guess what? They're going to put him in jail. What good that do the baby if the daddy in jail? You know what I'm saying? They don't care. So, it's a lot of things that wrong with our community. But I'm going to tell y'all, man, there are positive images. Like I said, the hip-hop fraternity is free. They can join the hip-hop fraternity. You go to hhfmedia.com. And we teaching y'all every day. I got a whole course over there for free. Once you join, I teach you everything you need to know about the music business, about publishing, about business, about real estate. God bless me with a little money, and God bless me with a kind heart.
You're pimping yourself now. You're pimping yourself now.
Yeah, I pimp myself. Man, I ain't got a picture of a hoe, man. What you talking about? I don't want to do nothing that carry life. You know what I'm saying? That shit carry life.
That's so powerful when you talked about feeling bad for like Puffy and R. Kelly. We talked about trauma, and we didn't even get into there's a thing called epigenetics, how trauma is passed down through generations of serious trauma. We're talking about
passed down unless somebody breaks the cycle.
Let me give y'all some game of what you just said, all right? You ever heard of Dr. Naeem Akbar?
Yes.
So Dr. Naeem Akbar said, the reason why black folks hate work, because for 250 years, we was forced to work. Black men are not lazy. It's just that psychologically and genetically it's been passed on to us that once them first slaves got free, they were like, fuck working for the white man. They was like, fuck working for the plantation. But what they was saying is that I'm not going to go there and work when I'm free. So they look at not working as freedom. I'm telling you, it's psychological.
It's really a
It's Dr.
psychological,
Dr.
genetic thing.
It's-
Dr. Joy DeGruy is another black woman that has a lot of information about this topic. This is ingrained in us on a level that's beyond just mental. Like Brittney Burna was talking about, there's deep work that has to be done. And what Pimpin Ken is doing is actually showing you an example of somebody that's done the work. He wasn't just talking about it, he was actually doing it. And it's everyday, constant chipping away at this ingrained, what you call religion of white supremacy.
Look, I want to throw the axe real quick, throw a flag on the play, right? Not against anybody else on the panel. What I want to say is that when we are talking about these things, we have to be able to separate fact from feelings, all right? We're going to be hearing things, and some people will be thinking about it factually, and other people will be thinking about it with their feelings and their emotions. That's where shit gets fucked up. That's where they create these divides with us. And that's why they want so badly to try to destroy masculinity, especially in the black man, because they understand that masculinity is naturally a defense against manipulation. But if they have people that are constantly thinking based on their feelings and their emotions, then they'll do all kinds of shit. They'll be chaotic and irrational all over the fucking place. I'm not saying that feelings or emotions are a bad thing, but they have their place. And I don't think that constantly being factual all the time is going to get you anywhere. No, that's going to turn you into a fucking robot. What we have to do is we have to find a way that we can make those things work together. And that's why I believe that essentially what they're trying to do is separate the black woman from the black man. Because once you get those facts and emotions coming together and understanding, hey, look, there's a time for this and there's a time for that. There's a place for this and there's a place for that. Then, once those things start working together, then it's hard for people to try to throw the fucking wool over you. It's hard for people to run game on you. That's why when I understand, me as a younger man, when I was listening to these older women giving me game and stuff like that, I shut up and I fucking listen. All right. When I was a younger man and older men were giving me game, I shut the fuck up and I listen. So I just want to say that it's just like fucking boxing. The boxer's going to do everything that they can to make their opponent mad because they know once they get into their feelings, then they're going to make a huge fucking mistake.
Can I ask y'all, hey, can we do a part 2 on this? Because I really,
yes, we're actually about to wrap this show up. I was going to let you.
Let's just do it. Let's open up tomorrow. Let's just let everybody know.
For me.
I want to get into the deep shit.
Can we reschedule you for a date and time to have you come back on? Can we do that?
Yeah, I want to do it tomorrow because I got a lot of interviews.
Real quick, Pimpin Ken, can you tell the people where to find you? Come in and tell people where to find you.
Follow me on Instagram at Real Pimp Ken. You can see all the motion I got. I'm doing really big shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to correspond with me, you go to hhfmedia.com. That's my social media. I own it. Black owned 100%. And also, that's where my books is at. You can hit the link books. You get my books. You can look at all the things that we're doing. I got 10,000 members. You can correspond with them. They correspond back. And like I said, I'm coming back whenever y'all reschedule. We got to come back because I want to have an intelligent conversation, not about no pimping, about nothing. Just break down some of the things that we were saying intellectually. And I got some real interesting point on some of the things that you brothers and sisters talk about that I think that would be conducive to the audience.
Yeah, pleasure having you on. What Black Men Like, best podcast in the game. We did it again, y'all. We out of here. Deuces.
All right, love, man.